Yeah, I don't have a catchy intro. That's basically what we got. Sorry, we're not professionals here. Was it not ready for daytime players? Is that what we're calling ourselves? Hey, Ultimate Guide to Spooky Empire. We are back, and what are we like? I think we are about a month and a half away from Spooky. Am I right?
Roughly.
It's about right, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So, but since we've had some guests added and we've had some new developments and we got a couple of events added, we figured we needed to come back, talk to you guys about a couple of things. So first, let's see, finger dance, We're going to do the subscribe and check out some past episodes, check out spookyempire.com. Now, disclaimer, first thing we always do. Number one, we do not work for Spooky. We are not compensated for this webcast. No one pays us for our opinion, nothing like that. We're not voices in Petey's head. We're not little cronies, you know, trying to sell whatever, I don't know. The opinions expressed are purely our own as seasoned veterans that have been to Spooky multiple times. And the information gathered is from our own resources, blah, blah, blah. And just note, we are not family friendly. I mean, look at this face. Does this look family friendly to you? There's no family friendly here. So, oh, do we have a special guest? I'm hearing barking.
Max.
All right, anyway, so we got Rob. Hello. Hi, Rob.
Yep. Hi.
Rob, it looks like you've had a makeover.
Yes, I'm fabulous now.
Okay.
Here, Max.
And of course, the local celebrity we've got here, who has emceed everybody from David Tennant to David Warner. You know, here we got Patty Hawkins. From,
I've never done David Tennant, but I'd
Really?
like to. Yeah. No.
Who was it? No, there was a big Doctor Who guy that you did do. Who was it?
What?
Well, David Warner. I've done.
Yes,
I've done Eric Roberts and Paul McGann, and I've done it.
Anyway, he's met all the stars. He knows everything. So that's a guy on the inside there. All right, and of course we got Big Daddy Mike.
Hello.
Mike, what's going
Yes,
on?
good.
It's like you're 3D or something. You're going from like red to green and red and green and red and green.
I think it's the light in my kitchen.
Okay.
He's got some poltergeist stuff going on there, man.
Yeah. No, don't do
I
that.
think it's the ghost of Andy Warhol messing with the screen, you know?
Let's see how this works.
Oh,
Yeah.
does that look better?
Yes, Mike's coming out at me.
Okay, cool. Okay, something that we did want to bring up immediately, how retro does differentiate from spooky. I have seen some comments on the Facebook boards because there have been some guests that aren't necessarily horror. There's the Prince Party, which we'll get into and stuff like that. And people, oh, but it's not horror. Here's the thing. Spooky throws 2 shows a year. There's October, which is much more, you know, obviously Halloween, horror related, so on and so forth. Retro is more all-inclusive of all the genres. It's more pop culture. So there's 2 different shows, but it's kind of like Spooky Light in May, and then October is like the big party. So just because something isn't horror, that's a whole nother show, but just so you know, this show isn't necessarily, that's why they're calling it Spooky Empire Retro and not just Spooky Empire. So I hope you guys understand the differentiation there. That's how it's been since the get-go.
Everything has a tether, you know, from
Yes.
one thing to another, and Spooky's always had a history of being entwined with music. It's always been a very
That's
musically inclined convention. One of the many reasons that differentiates it. And yeah, if people just want, you know, rehash of Romero zombieism or whatever, go fuck yourself with a straight razor. You know, it's whatever. You know. It's like, dude, get over it. There's plenty of stuff that you like, and if you don't like it, you don't go to that person's table. That's all.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's a perfect example. One of the things that they're doing, and we touched on this in the last episode, the zombie walk that they always start off with, they kick off with that on Friday. This time they're not doing a zombie theme. They're doing a Day of the Dead theme. When I say Day of the Dead, I mean Dia de los Muertos. you know, the mariachis and, you know, sugar skulls and all that business. So it's going to be a Day of the Dead walk as opposed to the zombie walk. So again, I hope to bring the mariachis back. Rob, what are you doing? You need a sombrero, man.
You know what? I've looked all around. I don't have any stuffed animals with a Mexican theme. I'm a little ashamed.
No Speedy Gonzalez, you fail. Get to the back of the line. But they are doing, yeah. So there'll be a lot of the body painters out there. You got Postmortem FX. You've got I know, like Mandy Schiff and Dr. Skull and a lot of these great artists out there that'll do a lot of, you know, sugar skull type stuff. And I hope they bring the mariachis back, because one of my favorite when they did Day of the Dead, I think we were at the DoubleTree. They had the mariachis out in the lobby, and the mariachis started playing the theme to to Desperado, the Antonio Banderas movie. I tripped out. I thought that was the greatest thing I'd ever heard. They start playing, El Cancion or something like that Antonio Banderas does. So I'm looking forward to the Day of the Dead.
And I'll tell everybody, the cool thing about Day of the Dead was I was in during the real Day of the Dead last year. I was in Tucson, and that, you know, that's like right on the Mexican border. So they had a huge parade there, and it was amazing. All these cool interpretations of the sugar skull motif and everything else. So just like under the theming, if you're on the fence about it, use the whole Mexican sugar skull thing as the beginning, and then make it your own. You know?
Absolutely.
Make it your own. Don't feel like, well, it's just I gotta do that and sombrero and whatever. No, man, take that as a beginning and find your own direction with it. I saw so many fascinating, innovative things that people did with it. Not the least of which was a bagpipe marching band.
I want some luchadors, honestly. I need to see some luchadors. But that's me. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I'll say this right now to any ladies out there. It is on my bucket list to make out with a girl in sugar skull makeup. Just saying. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Checklist. Was it hashtag goals? Something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, the first topic we're going to get into tonight is panel etiquette, because a number of us have been to celebrity Q&As where it's pretty much just the stock, same thing over and over and over. And it's not memorable. It's not fun. You know, you want this to be an event. You want the celebrity to have a good time, because if they're having a good time, they're going to make sure that you have a good time, and it's going to be awesome. Now, Patty has handled like God knows how many. I've spoken to a couple of other MCs as well. I'm just going to give some basics, and I'll let Patty take the floor and completely expound on this. The tips that they give, first of all, listen to the questions others are asking. You know, there's a lot of repeat questions, and that also goes with, you know, look at YouTube. You know, look at the Q&As they've done at panels before. They answer the same 5 questions over and over and over, and while they're used to it, that's going to get them in that robot mode, and that's not what you want. You want an experience. And here's another one, and I'm sure Patty has a lot to say about this as well. Unless you're a cute girl, asking for a hug from the guests is almost always going to come off as creepy. Don't be that guy. Okay? Don't do that.
I'd like a hug. Can I touch you?
Yeah, he's that guy, and we've all seen that guy.
Yeah.
Really try to think about the wording of your question in advance. If it's kind of complex, you know, sub question A, you know, part B. If it's complex, write it down and kind of revise it so it's a bit concise, you know, because I mean, time is money, and we want to get through this. So don't like tell the story about your grandparents and da-da-da-da-da. Get to the point. And also, proper microphone use is important. If you're too far away, you can't be heard. Too close, and you're going to get God knows what from the microphone. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my big tip, like I said, go on YouTube and see how they've been in panels before, and that should help you gauge on, you know, what kind of questions you should ask. But anyway, let me give this to Patty, because I know he's got a lot to say on this subject. Patty, go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. By all means, ask the question you want to ask, but figure this too. Think of it like this. If you are already planning on going to have an interaction with them, either at their table or something, you can ask your question right there. So if you have a question, choose one that I think is going to get everybody involved, as opposed to, so what was your favorite thing? And yes, like what you said, headline your question. come right to your question. You don't need to introduce yourself. Wow, it's just I've been a biggest fan with you since I saw it's like Friday 13th 3D, and it was so crazy because my mom didn't want me to go, so instead I said I was seeing Meatballs too. Instead, me and my friends we stuck to go. Skip all that. It's just I understand you can be starstruck. I've seen people they let that out because they're legitimately excited to do this, but take a deep breath and say, hi, my name is, you can say your name, like, hey, my name is Bob, and that way the celebrity can say, oh, hey, Bob, how you doing? So yeah, well, what did I want to know? What was it like with this? Avoid yes, no questions. Or or in some cases, maybe you can do a yes, no question because it'd be kind of nice. And yes, from my position as a moderator, and I warn the crowds ahead of time, yeah, about asking for a hug, asking for a personal endorsement, asking, say, oh, hey, I'm recording this for my friend who can't be here. Can you give a shout out to our website? It's like gorehounds, .com and all that malarkey. Because that's when I have to be the Secret Service guy. That's when I have to jump in front and say, no, I'm sorry, they can't do it. Because you're putting the celebrity in a very shitty position because they've got to let you down and they don't want to look like an asshole. And that's something that you can negotiate at the table. If they can do that at all, when they do it at all, you do it at the table. You don't take up the crowd's time by asking for a personal dedication or anything like that. It's cheesy and it's wrong. And if the celebrity says, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that, then the whole room gets downshifted by 2. You haven't killed the energy, but holy shit, have you made it uncomfortable for everybody else, especially the poor slub that has to come up next to you. And that's the gist of it. Yeah, by all means, research your question. Now you don't have to go deep and be on a hunt for whatever, but
No.
do your predilection to it. And theoretically, if something is done right, the basic questions should already been taken away. I mean, some Q&As are just like, here's a celebrity, and who is the first question? Ideally, hopefully, the warmed up. Let's get the bad out of the way. What was your favorite part of the thing you're here for? And what was this? And let's go into it. Okay, now let's take some questions. And just go with the flow. And enjoy. Think of it this way. If this is your moment in the sun with your celebrity, okay, do you want to remember that you went down in flames, and do you want to put them in a position where they had to say no, or even worse, somebody like me had to jump in front and say, oh, I'm sorry, he won't be able to answer that for you.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And like he said, think of your question, and I think the most important thing, think about whether you can ask this at their table or if they're going to be able to relay a story that everybody's going to enjoy. Mm-hmm. You think about, it's like, okay, what would they want to talk about that you think everybody can get a kick out of, a story or whatever, like if you're up there for Alice Cooper, don't tell them it's like, oh, I really liked your song Poison. What were you thinking about? No, ask him something about when he was in Prince of Darkness.
And most importantly, do not hold actors accountable for story, plot, directing decisions. Don't. This comes up a little more in the sci-fi things, where the Star Trek actors get asked, like, well, in Generations, they said Guinan did this and everything else, but doesn't that preclude? It's like they don't know. Remember, most of the celebrities we're going to talk to are actors, and and I'm sorry to say this, guys. They do a really good job, and they're fans of that. They have fans, but they may not necessarily be fans of the series of movies or that one particular movie or anything else. It was just a gig. They could be, but they may not be as invested in you. So don't try to get an answer out of them that should go to the director or the producer or the writer or whatever. That's just, again, that's like a, I just read the script and I went to my mark and then I hey, they didn't bounce the check.
That's pretty much how it does work most of the time. Like you said, for most people, a gig is a gig, Mm-hmm. Like I said, they may enjoy the series, they may enjoy the character, but some of them aren't as into the character as others are.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, these are really good rules to follow where everyone will have a great time. It'll be a great panel. And I've seen very often, especially if you do the panel, ask a question, you can go to the table afterwards. They might actually have a rapport with you at that point, and who knows, you guys may go have a drink. It's not unheard of. So it's something to definitely think about. Okay.
Or you can get invited up to the room. Anything can happen. We've seen it happen.
We've seen it happen.
It's happened to me.
I just wait. That's all I can say about that. Okay, another topic I wanted to get into, let's see. Photographer etiquette, because there is going to be a lot of cosplay going on. And
wait, it's official. This convention does allow cosplay.
Oh, thank goodness! Oh, thank goodness! Yes. I was so worried. I
know. There's been a
Oh no! You mean those people are going to be let in?
Yeah, there will be no oppression. So feel free to come in costume. You will be allowed at the door, even if you pay.
Thank goodness my freedom of expression is not being, my constitutional rights aren't being trampled upon.
No, don't worry. Spooky is sticking up for the little guy. This is your place. Your place where you can dress in costume. There's very few, apparently, but Spooky's going to be your safe haven.
For those, is a safe space.
For those of you out there that may not have heard, there's a convention going on in Tampa, and they want to be strictly vendor-driven and dealer-driven, and they've made a house rule that they're not allowing cosplay. And
cosplay is banned.
Yeah, and then the short version of it is that it's their admission event, and they're entitled to have that rule. And a lot of the cosplay world's heads have exploded at the mere notion that someone would dare suggest that sometimes it's not all about them.
Yeah,
and remember, we're cosplayers here, and
that's right. We've all cosplayed for a very long time. If they don't want you cosplayers there, okay, you don't have to costume everywhere. So, whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah,
photographers. Okay. First of all, we have gone on a previous episode. I'll put it up here somewhere where we have discussed this to a degree, but it did deserve some revisiting here. Okay. Speaking of drama bomb, there is a current drama bomb going on in the con circle. Some of you may know, some of you may not know, where creepy perv photographers are getting outed. Whether it's shooting nudes or creeping on girls or sexual harassment. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm sure there are a lot of photographers that are very, very nervous. So first, let's just reiterate the basics, which are, if you want to take a photo of someone, be polite and ask. I mean, that should be common sense, but as we all know, common sense is not so common. But a number of us have been to the Wyndham, and there are better spots to shoot than others. Don't go anywhere uncomfortable. Like, if you don't know a photographer, don't go off into an alleyway if you don't have somebody with you. And when it comes to stuff like that, hold on, let me click back over here. Just FYI, okay, you see that big motherfucker right there? With the Brute Squad, you see that? Remember that. Take a screenshot and remember, what was he got? Mike-san over here? Daniel-san with the wax on, wax off. Is that what we got? But, oh yeah. Wait. But do you have tickets?
Me? Oh yeah.
You have the tickets to the gun show, Okay, I know that was bad.
Smooth.
But yeah.
Smooth.
Do what?
Nothing at all. Go ahead, please share.
Anyway, no, but like I said, you see that guy. You've seen Big Mo. You've seen Daddy Mike. But yeah, Brute Squad. Just all you have to do is look for that. And if you anyone making you feel uncomfortable, talk to those guys. They'll definitely hook you up. So just don't forget that right there. Definitely. See, there we go. As he's adjusting. Yeah, look at that. West Side. Oh, thugging shit, man. Thug life. Fun fact, 20 years ago today, Biggie Smalls got killed. So there we go. It's appropriate. Oh, wow. There you go. Topic appropriate.
Hey, Demmie, just because, for my own benefit, is that a comment? Because I'm not the type of cosplayer that gets asked by the pros. But, I mean, is it, I'm used to, oh, hey, sit right there. I can take your picture, and they'll take it in like a real quick shot or whatever. Yeah. Does that happen with the guys who present themselves as professional or budding professional? Do they like, hey, stop? Do you have like a couple minutes? Can I do a quick show? Does that happen?
I've seen that happen. Okay. I mean, if your costume is really incredible, absolutely. I've seen it happen to Rob in his crow costume.
Okay, I was just curious. I'm used to the quick shot, but I don't know if people are actually saying, hey, can we go outside or the lights better or by the fountain or whatever for the next 20 minutes? Okay.
That's happened to Rob, hasn't it? Hasn't it, Rob?
Yes and no. I mean, it's not for a while, honestly. People will, pull me aside for a picture. No one really ever wants to do a full shoot. But they'll ask you to go outside for other occasions. For like Patty said, where the lighting is better. Some people will. If most are very nice about it, and you know what? If you want to shoot with them, say sure. If you don't have to be nasty about it though. Just say, you know what? I'm heading somewhere else right now. Maybe we can hook up later. General rule, as long as they're not asking you to go back to their room for a very special shoot, it's probably.
Yeah, don't ever go back to somebody's room if you don't know who they are, man. Come on, that's yeah.
Ask for a card.
Yeah, always ask for a card. If you want your find photos, ask for a card.
The back of my van is really, really good. In the back of my van, it's perfect. Let's go there. I've got candy.
The lighting is great.
Okay, but and these are all the basics that we've gone over. Stay safe. But as far as good places to shoot around the Wyndham, now if you're actually in the Wyndham, especially if you're along, I want to say that Sand Lake there. I think it's Sand Lake. You want to be against the wall and where the outside, so the light is coming towards you. You always want to have the light on you. So especially if you're photographing, you want the doors behind you. There's a couple of big murals in there. There's a couple of little alleyways that are kind of off the main shoot that you can use as well. And also there's like a fountain out by the pool. There's a couple little areas out there you can shoot. They have that little patio when you walk right outside of the bar. There is that. I'm trying to remember. I mean, you guys know the place as well as I do. Is there anything, any other place? What, Mike?
No, I was saying something else. Good.
Okay, but so that happened.
The other places, ever since the remodel of the hotel, there's actually, kind of fewer spots. They did include more parking and there's restaurants. So there's not a ton of great places to shoot unless you can find maybe an empty hall that's not being used.
This isn't going to be, I don't think this is going to be a crowded con, so I think it'll be pretty easy to find decent spots.
Yeah, and there's the pool area. There's a kind of a patio outside of the main lobby. It depends, if people are there or not. And you know what? If anyone wants to take a little bit of a hike, you got King's Bowling about a block away. King's Bowling Alley.
That's true too.
And it's
pretty much like right behind there, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a swanky, Vegas vibe to it. So, you know what? If you wanted to have your zombie in Vegas bowling, it's the perfect place to have a shoot.
Okay. There's that, but usually outside, I mean, the patio area that's near the parking lot is actually pretty good. And there's a couple nice areas over there. And especially over by the rooms. Behind the pool, there's the gazebo over there. There's a couple of little bridges with little... So there are a couple areas where you could actually work with. So
I'm a big fan of people who create photo opportunities from their hotel room for everybody down in the pool area.
Oh, yeah.
that was a little tree kind of thing, if I recall.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That was, but it can always happen. Somebody's just like they just got a mannequin or something hanging from their room or something to that effect, whatever. But
oh yeah, those were. See, now that's just giving me ideas.
Sometimes it's a pressed ham right up against the windows.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Yeah. And I'm digging your look, Rob.
Thanks.
Yeah.
This is my look too.
Yes. All right. And briefly, I also wanted to talk about the costume contest for a couple of reasons. Number one, because there was a lot of us talking about this, and this wasn't in October. I want to say this was last retro. I'm not entirely sure. What, Rob?
Yeah, you were correct. It was at the last. I know where you're going, and it was at the last retro. It was the Return to the Wyndham, which was last.
Okay, the return. Yeah, the first retro back at the Wyndham. If you're going to enter the costume contest, don't be an asshole and lie on your forms. Don't tell people you made your costume when you didn't. Give credit where credit's due. I mean, and it's ridiculous that I even have to say this nowadays. If you didn't make your outfit, why are you, you're just going to piss people off because people will find out. The truth is the costuming circles are kind of small and we all talk. So, and especially around spooky, we are a very tight-knit group. We all talk. So don't be that guy that lies about your costume. That's number one. And number two, I think the other thing, everybody always wonders what you have to do. You don't have to do a skit. You don't have to have entrance music or anything like that. Basically, what the judges are looking for, they're looking at your outfit, but they're also looking at your presentation on stage. You know, you go up, you say you get there, what, 10, 15 seconds, flash for the audience, you know, let the judges see. And Patty, you look like you're wanting to say something.
Oh, well, it's a costume contest. It's not a drag show.
Good point.
I mean,
okay.
yeah,
like
it's just like some people. It tends to be more with like the group cosplays and everything on Nelson. They want to do a whole sketch, and this is why I've actually been a proponent of. I think there needs to be a recategorization. I think if people want to do full skits and craziness and all that malarkey towards their character, I feel like that should be a separate contest. But that's a debate for another day. But yeah, it's all about get out there, do one thing, one pose that is perfect for whatever you are dressed as, you know?
Yeah.
And then to me, that's always a big thing too. It drives me nuts in comic book circles when I see people dressed like Wonder Woman, yet they're doing a Jean Grey pose for reasons I can't understand, you know, just, you know, whatever you're dressed as, remember, own it, serve the character, not yourself. Yeah. And that in turn will serve you in the contest.
And he's right. And, you know, and here's the thing. Don't be a sore loser. You know, we see it every year, people getting pissed off that they didn't win. You know what? Don't enter to win. If you're entering to win, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Enter for a chance to be on stage and show off. Because you're going to have all the paparazzi. You got the spotlight to yourself. Some great shots. Enjoy being up on stage. Enjoy showing off. And if you don't win, you don't win. It's not a big deal. Don't be a sore loser.
These contests are not empirical. They're so in the eye of the beholder of whoever is judging, to their own predilections, to their own likes, to whatever it is. I mean, you could have a technically magnificent costume, but it could just be somebody is more enamored with somebody else's character choice and whatnot. It's just, yeah, you cannot go into this with some crazy idea of or either that or you're in the wrong contest, to be honest. You know, if you have that kind of a mania to it or whatever, then quit this hobby and take up car shows.
But here's the truth of the matter. Like I said before, we are a small, tight-knit group, and we all talk. You know, we all talk to each other, and the truth is, when you get all pissy, someone's going to overhear and everyone's going to know. And here's a perfect example. That's how we met John Lee. And John, we adore you and you know it, but the reason we met him is because the very first costume contest he did, he wasn't happy with the results. I forget who he complained to, but someone overheard, and before you knew it, everybody knew he was bitching about how the contest went. And we knew him before we met him as Miss Diva Bitch. You know, and now we know he's Miss Diva Bitch. But
he has won since then, correct?
He has.
Yes,
he's
he
won a
has.
number of times.
Yes,
and he's
several
actually
times,
judged. Yeah. Last year he judged.
Yep.
He's an amazing artist. I mean, him and Eric both. So
yep.
I mean, they actually judged last year. Mm-hmm. So but it's just an example of how people talk, and you know, your attitude will get around. And because John's charismatic, we've all become great friends.
Yeah, and
I doubt most people have the charisma level that John has.
And by the same token, we're not saying that you have to swallow your pride and go up and shake the hand of the winner or anything to that effect. You know, it's just like,
hey, go, asshole.
If what you've got is anything good, just take solace in the fact that when it's all done, some people are going to come up to you as, oh, hey, I really liked your costume. And somebody is going to say, somebody who's not related to you, it will say, oh, man, I was rooting for you. I was hoping you're going to win. I hope you do this, I say. And take solace in the fact that they want to take their picture with you, that they want to take pictures of your costume, because that's how relationships build. That's you make a friend, you make a con buddy. And, you know, it's what it is. That whole thing, it's like the escaping in the Shawshank Redemption. You know, it's just you're chiseling away. You're just chiseling away, and you got to take these little victories as you get them.
Yeah. God, Rob is like, he's having a good old time over there. I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know either, but that's a room of your house I've never been in. least I think.
That's the special room.
Oh,
That
okay.
is-
That's like what's his face's room in Donnie Darko, Patrick Swayze's room in Donnie Darko. You have to go behind a bookcase to get to that.
The stuffed animals have nothing to do with that. Nothing like that room.
Just coincidental. I mean, you know, I kind of doubt your commitment to Sparkle Motion here, but
Subject. Next subject. Come on.
all right. And by the way, speaking of next subject, just so you guys know, since Rob is actually on camera tonight, not being our space monkey, Mike apparently can do more than 2 things at once. So Mike is keeping an eye on the chat. So if there's anything that you want to bring up, anything you want to ask, anything you want to comment on, is at the controls, and he's taking your questions and stuff. So you go ahead and say he's reading diligently as we can see there.
Yeah, somebody's already asked her, you got a purple at the Prince party.
Okay, you know what? Let's get into the Prince party. Okay, now how the Prince party is going? It's going to be Friday night by the pool. There is a guy, the Purple. Now I haven't heard of him, but apparently he's a DJ up in New York called the Purple Wizard. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of him.
Look him up.
Okay, but the Purple Wizard is going to, and in Show Enough Entertainment, which I'm woefully not familiar with. It's going to be a Prince party. Now, why are we doing a Prince party? Well, because the owners of Spooky are huge Prince fans, and because it is the 1 year passing. So it is actually last year when we were at the, or was it December? No, wait, where were we? Where it was all purple.
That was December, the December show.
That was the December show.
Had all the purple lights.
Yeah.
There were purple lights in the vendor's room. All the backdrops were purple, and you know, a lot of us really didn't notice it. We found out later on it was in honor of Prince because the owners are huge Prince fans, and so, like I said, and you know, there's a picture of PD somewhere as Prince, and if you've been on the Spooky page, you've probably seen it. But yeah, there's going to be a big Prince party. They say follow the purple light, so there's going to be purple lights, and so they're asking people to wear purple. Now, I did ask, I made a request personally for a Prince song, but I kind of got shut out for this, and I don't know if this will actually be able to, you can hear this at all. Right. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Right? Stop. But basically, the song is called, if it'll focus, Prince actually wrote a song in 1990 called Donald Trump Black Version.
Oh.
That, yeah, and it won't focus, but if you look up Donald Trump Black Version, it's 1990, it's on YouTube. It absolutely happened. I asked for it, and oh well, I got denied. So there will be no R&B sexified Donald Trump Black Version at the Prince party. So, you know, that just makes me very, very sad. So there's that. But it's what?
No, I so desperately wanted to go to that event as something that would just it would land me in much more hot water than it would amuse, and but
there's going to be a number of people doing that. You're not going to be the only one.
You mean I won't be the only Morris Day there?
Oh no, there better be some blackface, man. Because if there isn't some blackface, then I'm quitting. I'm just tapping out. There needs to be some blackface. So Mike, have you found out anything
right now? But I just don't know of any.
What, Rob?
I'd really like to make an Under the Cherry Moon reference right now, but I just don't know any.
Yeah, I guess
now,
you have to see the movie, really, and as far as I know, nobody really saw it.
No, I can't take that step. So.
See, now what I'm hoping for personally at this party, before I cut to Mike and the Purple Wizard here, the one thing I'm hoping for is that in December, and I'm not naming names, but there was associated with Spooky that did a nice little song and dance, a little sexified thing, the Darling Nikki up on stage, and this person was getting tipped dollar bill, and the video has been banned on the internet. So to show some people privately, maybe not, I don't know, but I'll just say that someone associated with Spooky did a nice little rendition. From Darling Nikki, and yeah, so okay, my camera was freezing, sorry about that. Okay, so anyway, Mike, what have you found out? Anything?
Not really. Everything that comes up for DJ Purple Wizard is a whole lot of other stuff. I mean, there's some dance hall mixtapes and some stuff on YouTube, but I don't know if this is the same guy or not.
Okay.
Let's see.
Looking forward to this Prince party?
You know, I am, because I am one of those that grew up in the realm of the Prince music, and I'm talking not the music that the new music everyone knows. I'm talking Erotic City, you know, songs like that from a long time ago.
Erotic City, quacky schmacky.
Oh my God!
Just a private joke. Sorry, won't go there.
Rude! You're tarnishing the memory of the great Prince.
Great song.
No, so everything from even, what is it, 1999, even before Purple Rain. So I think that's where they're thinking, oh, Purple Rain. No, he did a lot before that. So.
Oh yeah, I'm talking 80s Prince. I liked 80s Prince. Everything from I Want to Be Your Lover on. Okay.
What's our opinion on Diamonds and Pearls? Okay, just asking, just throwing it out. 90s Prince.
This is where I need the crickets. All right. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to get into before we started getting into the prices for the new celebrities that have been added, because we do have autograph and photo op prices for all them. But we did want to get into celebrity etiquette. Now, again, I'm going to let Patty take this, and I know the other guys have something to say about this as well. I did talk to someone that runs an agency, and here's the tips they give from the guest. Like I said, and these are straight from handlers that actually have dealt with multiple big-time celebrities. First of all, it's looked down upon to discuss price or money with the guests. You do that with the handler or the agent. So, like I said, when they have a handler with them, discuss prices, whatever, with them. Don't ever do it with the celebrity. You're there to talk to the celebrity as the celebrity. Money part comes.
And here's a little bit of here's an explanation for that, clarification on that. A lot of times, because of the way contracts are and guarantees and everything on else, it's like most of the time the handler is there to take the money, because the money actually goes to the convention, and then the convention will later on pay out the celebrity and everything on else. Yeah. The celebrity, the handler doesn't even have time to work for the actual celebrity. They're a representative of the convention to make sure that everything's accounted for and everything on else. So a lot of times the celebrity themselves are not setting the prices. It's all set up by, and so yeah, that's why it's like, yeah, don't talk to them about the money, because it's like, oh, I'm sorry, talk to them, because they're taking the money. I'm just smiling for the pictures and doing the autographs.
Yeah.
And hopefully brightening your day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it makes it less awkward, because you're there to talk to the celebrity about their work and you know, which we're going to get into, but don't make it awkward, because I mean, 9 times out of 10, they don't even really know what's being charged. So that talk business with the agent and then get with the celebrity. So I've seen a lot of people where they come up and they see, oh, $50, that's too much, and they walk away. Don't be that asshole, man. They're human. They're people just like you. If someone said that to you, so don't be that.
They were invited to be here. Yeah, you know,
exactly.
It's like they're as much as a guest of the affair as you are.
And here's the thing on the prices. Most of us have been to these conventions numerous times, so you shouldn't be shocked about the prices you see.
No.
At all.
No.
Not one bit. So
no, not at all.
If you walk up to someone and you see a price of $50 and it's for an autograph or a picture, that's pretty much the standard norm, and you know that. So going up there acting all holier than thou, shocked, oh my God, I can't spend that much money on you. Take it old
Then
school.
just don't do it. You don't have to be vocal about it. Just don't do it. You know.
Like I said,
You could still go
you
up and
know-
say hi and shake their hand. Just
you know, going into this, because if you've been to as many cons as we have over the years, you've seen the prices go from one thing to another thing, and you know that at this point, $50 is probably the median norm right now. I mean, unless you get somebody that's super popular like
Yeah.
Reedus.
That's a term of affection when talking about Norman Reedus. Just
it is. This is
Exactly.
the Rita's salute. This is the secret
so-
spooky handshake. The Rita's salute.
So unless you get someone like that whose price is going to be 150 or more, you know, $50 is not that bad. It really isn't. If that's what you really want, if that's the person you really want to get an autograph from, you shouldn't be shocked when you get up there and see that price.
Yeah. And that's part of why we do these shows, to prep you beforehand so you know how much to budget. So, okay. Another tip, while guests don't necessarily mind being asked the same questions over and over, the way to get you to stand out is to ask questions about new or obscure roles, charity work, pets, kids, sports, etc. That's a big one, because you have to remember, this is a person you're talking to. You know, this is a person who's an actor, who has experiences and a personal life just like you. When you connect with them on that level, as opposed to being another fanboy that asks yet again about Friday the 13th Part 5, Friday the 13th Part 5, they blank over and they don't remember you. You know, I've talked to Julian Sands about his wine cellar. I've talked to John Aston about bartending. You know, it's, and you come up with these great stories, and when they see you again, they remember you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stress that enough. You know, I mean, Patty, you want to expound on that?
They'll have a bunch of pictures, and they'll be the thick stack of, again, the most thing they're most famous for. Take a second and look at that, and if there's anything on the table that inspires you from the lesser low stack, it's like, oh, by the way, I really loved you in this, you know, or hey, you made me laugh in this one, and then you might get the art. Oh, thank you very much. You know, just Mary Warnoff. I mean, I went up to her table and talked to her for a couple minutes, and then, you know, and she was like, oh, so do you want a picture? She reached for Rock and Roll High School, and I was like, oh, no, I want Eating Raoul. And she was like, nobody asked for that. Okay, you know, and that's, and that could be your icebreaker. That can, conversely though, it can, once in a while, it can backfire on you, you know, my Gary Busey story, but everybody has a Gary Busey story from that year.
I think he's the only celebrity ever to be banned from Spooky.
I think he's banned from the state of Florida.
I think so. But, you know.
A lot of work. I'm not even sure he's capable of that unless we introduce Gary Busey plus meth. He's banned from the state.
That's true. That's true. But no, absolutely right. And look at some of their more obscure roles. I mean, look at their IMDb and talk about episodes you may have seen them in. I mean, for example, Robert Englund, everyone's talking about Freddy. I mentioned Tobe Hooper's Masters of Horror, Dance of the Damned. Dance of the Damned, and we sat for half an hour talking about that role, you know. And
be honest, though. Don't try to say, oh, I loved you in that Norelco commercial that somebody told me about, or I read your Wikipedia page or whatever. It's like, you still got to be earnest. Don't try to fake it because you want to get some moment out of it. You know, it's if all you know him for is the main thing, then by all means gush about the main thing. Just, you know. And
that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. But even then, if you don't know about the obscure roles, you know, I mean, ask them about their charity work. They're usually Anthony Michael Hall, the last time he was here, not only were there new projects he was working on, there was some, and the name escapes me, but I heard him talking about like some great charity work that he was, you know, promoting on a webcast. I wish I could remember the name right now, but it was great stuff, you know, and these are the things that they're passionate about talking about. And you want to see a light in their eyes where they actually enjoy a conversation as opposed to answering yet another same question. So
I want Robert Englund to do the maniacal laugh that he did in Ford Fairlane. I love to
Oh God, there's a good one. Wow, I hadn't thought about that.
My hair.
All right, here's another one. And don't ever touch a celebrity without asking. This is a big one. I know everyone wants to come up and immediately put their arm around, and usually that's okay, but there are some celebrities that don't like people touching them. You know, and that just goes for people in general. This is a convention. There's a lot of dirty motherfuckers out there.
And don't take that personally. That's not you. They're there all day. If they let you hug them, then that means they've let 100 total strangers like hug them. And
yeah. So just you know, don't automatically just let the, you know, if you're gonna take, oh, is it okay if I put my arm around you? You know, and normally they'll say okay, but I mean, they'll have more respect for you if you ask first. Is it cool if we do this? Is it cool if we do that? Sometimes they say no. I asked Jay Muse for double Dutch rudder and he said no. I asked Elvira if I could motorboat her. She politely said no. So, you know, as long as you're nice enough and you ask about it in a nice way, you never know. I'm still pretty bitter about the motorboating, but oh well. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
I asked Paul Sorvino the same thing. He also said no.
Really? Oh,
what a
I heard he
shame.
let somebody do it. He sang for me, so I'm happy. None of y'all got that. I got Paul Sorvino to sing for me, so that's right. I'm better than y'all. Okay, but yes, don't ever touch celebrities. Ask if it's okay. While celebrities don't mind signing a gazillion items, do that only if there's not a huge line. It's kind of rude to the other people waiting. Now, we've all seen this a number of times. As a matter of fact, Patty and I, we were in line for John Aston. There was someone in front of us with, God, what, like 20 items? It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
I mean, granted, I
you know,
assume he was paying for all of them, so
of course,
okay,
of course,
you know,
which is fine.
yeah, it's fine, but it's just
Wait till there's no one at the table, you know? Wait till
Okay.
there's a short line.
usually though there'd be something like, okay, we'll do a couple limits, and then let me take care of these other people, and then we'll take care of you. It's if you're into other fandoms, it's really bad at comic book shows when someone will bring a stack of everything that writer or artist has every comic they've ever worked on and expect them all to be autographed, and it's like, yeah, I've seen those stacks. A lot of them have philosophies. I'll do 5, then I'll have to ask you to wait back in line and come back in again. You can sit on the side and pick out the first 5 you want or whatever. I understand this, but I got a line here. And most of the time they don't spurg out, and what you always hear those horror stories of them. But yeah, just understands that you're not in a vacuum. But yes, though, most of the time, unless they're the super A-listers, there will be a lull. There will be a lull at their table where you can take advantage of.
Yeah. I mean, as a matter of fact, just in December, I was in the line, and Rob remembers this, I was in the line for Kane Hodder, and who is coming back, by the way. The guy, if you get a chance to meet him, absolutely do so. The guy's fantastic. There was someone that was in front of us, and I had to wait for a good half hour because this guy apparently brought a whole photo album of some movie he worked on with Kane many, many, many years ago. Good. And Kane was a darling. Kane sat there and looked through every picture and asked him questions and da-da-da-da-da. And Kane was great and took all the time and roll with him. But you're making the people the people behind you mad. So again, wait until there's no one else around, you know? And if there's people that build up behind you, you know, while you're in the middle, that's one thing. But wait till there's a couple of people around, and don't be that guy, because then people are just going to be pissed at you all weekend. Like I said, Kane was fantastic about it. He was a sweet guy. He apologized to us, and it was wonderful, but you're just going to make everybody mad. I mean, Rob, you remember that, don't you?
Yeah, no, it was at least 20-minute wait. I mean, there was this guy, and then, yeah, he just over and over showing, and it. And there were only 2 other people in front of us besides, you know, this guy with, you know, his life history. So yeah.
Now what that means. Okay. What that means is certain celebrities will not sign certain things. You know, for example, like say if there's, I don't know, an actress there that did a Playboy shoot once upon a time, don't automatically assume that they're going to sign it, you know, or
probably not sign her issue of Playboy. Yeah.
You know, it's like Tracy Lords won't sign. There's a lot of stuff she won't sign.
Yeah, I should hope so. There's a lot of stuff that people shouldn't really be in possession of, technically.
It's true. It's absolutely true. But there are some celebrities, there are some controversial items that they will not sign. I mean, I know at some shows, Billy D. Williams will not sign Colt 45 stuff. You know? So,
and again,
these are things that you need to.
And again, don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Sometimes it could just be a case of like it's a bad connotation to them.
No.
They'd be like, it's like, oh, I don't sign anything from that movie, because maybe they didn't pay them or there's an ongoing thing, and then there's sometimes they'll let you know that what the drama was as it is, and I've seen some guys. I'm sorry, I don't sign anything material from that. But I tell you what, if you want, I'll give you 2 pictures. How about that, or whatever, something to that effect. Don't if you don't act like a dick about it, then chances are you will get something of equal value.
Yeah, I mean, I know Crispin Glover, for example, with the whole drama with Back to the Future 2. Don't ever ask him to sign that stuff, because bad things will happen. Don't do it. Okay. So just to give you an idea. What, Mike?
Also, somebody asked a question about, do the celebs only take cash? From what I've seen, most of them only take cash. And
the majority, yes.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, a lot of it, I don't know about Spooky, but I've seen it in other conventions. A lot of it has to do with the way the amount of autographs are tracked, because that's how they get the money's broken up some way. I don't know if it's done that way in Spooky, but in other conventions that I've seen, they track how many autographs are sold, per price. So as far as I know, everyone always takes cash.
Yeah, I would always assume that's all they'll take. I had seen a few small instances. Larry Hagman was taking a swipe, and what's the last guy who was Superman, not the current one, Brandon Roth. He was also able to. His handler was swiping credit cards. It's not uncommon if they're asking a lot more than the standard $40 or $50. Like if they're a higher ticket person, you have a better chance of being able to use plastic there. But again, assume going in they're only going to take cash. It's really the cash is the rule rather than the exception.
Yeah. In the vendor room, you can expect nowadays most vendors,
most of them will be able
to do the card swiping and stuff right now. That depends on a lot of issues. If there's Wi-Fi, my battery's dead. But yeah, for the most part, most vendors now have a Foursquare or something equivalent to that. But yeah, again, rule of thumb, you should be prepared to pay in cash always. And yeah, just like Mike said, that's really for more bookkeeping and accounting purposes to make sure nobody, a convention of the celebrities don't have cause to badmouth each other in social media. So they stiff me or Again,
that's true too. We've seen that happen too.
It's not that they don't want your money, and usually at every venue there's an ATM somewhere.
Yeah, and always hit the ATM early. We've been saying that forever.
Yeah.
On the ATM note, at the Wyndham, historically, Spooky has had trouble keeping money in those ATMs. I can think at least half a dozen times where those ATMs have run out of money. In the previous years, I don't know if it's going to be like that. The retros are usually a little bit smaller than the old fall Spooky Empire shows, but just be prepared to bring some cash. And also, there is a Wawa at the corner of Sand Lake and Universal.
Yes.
Universal Boulevard on the corner.
Yes.
Yeah, right on the corner there.
Literally right by right by the hotel there.
Yeah, so that ATM. No charge, your bank may give you a charge of their own, but that's a free to use ATM, and it's just a short walk away from everything. So
you're on Sand Lake and I Drive. There's a goddamn ATM somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, it kind of serves you right if you under budgeted. You should. And again, I'm sorry if you, but that's what we're here to talk about you. Yeah. Budget yourself, To me, a convention is like going to a strip club. It's like I've got the amount of I'm bringing with me the amount of cash that I am willing to foolishly part with, and that's it.
What was that, Rob?
Making it rain. And I still use those at strip club ATMs and pay the $8 fee, the really jacked up. So.
Well, here's the trick. I usually bring the bulk of it in singles anyway, because one of my tricks in the vendor's room is on Saturdays and Sundays. Later on the day, I'll negotiate a cheaper price because I'll be like, "How much is that? It's like 60. We take 45. Well, I don't know. In singles, like you have singles. I don't know. Okay,
There's a good trick. That's a good trick for people to remember.
Before the day of the convention. Remember that, kids.
A single's worth $1.05.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, and the one last tip when it comes to, and like I said, you guys can absolutely jump in if I'm forgetting anything. The only thing most celebrities don't appreciate is comments on their looks. Now, I was surprised about this, but this does happen. Quite a few guests are known for movies that came out years ago, sometimes decades. Everyone ages, and some not so well as others. I've also given advice to fans about meeting celebrities like Linda Blair or Lou Ferrigno that can truly be horrible to fans. Some fans' enjoyment of a movie can be ruined by encounters by guests. I've seen both of the above being horrible to fans, and the look on their faces after is pretty bad. Years of enjoyment watching their movies or TV is gone for some, and there are fans that it doesn't bother them. In those cases, I always advise fans just to say hi, get their autograph picture, and leave. But as you know, most guests are cool and happy to meet fans. Some are quiet and nothing like the characters that they play. Some are not and like to socialize after the con. Others are shy in public and have a tough time with adoration from fans, which can be misinterpreted as rudeness, being a jerk, etc. Now, first thing I want to talk about with that statement. Now, and I'm shocked, but I've seen it. I was hanging out with Julian Sands at Dragon Con, and some people actually have come up and it's like, oh, wow, you look really different from Warlock. Warlock was like 30 years ago,
Jesus,
you know, and seeing people do this, and it's just, these are not animals in a zoo. You know, if you wouldn't say this to a stranger on the street, why would you say it to someone who's a celebrity that you supposedly admire? Oh my God. And I've seen it a number of times. It's like, oh wow, you look different. Really?
It's the amount of brain cells people have.
And it's, unfortunately, it has happened, which is ridiculous. I just
Comedian Bobcat Goldthwait, his very first line in his stand-up act, and he's used this for like the past 5 years. He just comes out on stage and he's like, yeah, you don't look the same either.
I love Bobcat. But it's true. I mean, that's number one. I mean, just think before you speak, man. Jesus. That's just, God. Okay, and you know what? Let me hand this over to Rob. The second part where they were talking about how some celebrities can actually be interpretedly horrible to fans, you know? How to handle that.
Well, me? I'm getting that? Okay. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, no, I just haven't heard much from you. So, I mean, fine. I can hand it over to Mike.
You can hand it over. I've only had one truly unpleasant, disappointing experience with any celeb. I don't go too much with, well, that's not true. No, one giant one where it's just, I wasn't even sure I was talking to the actual celeb at the end of the day.
Huh.
Yeah, that was Sam Jones, who apparently I did not know prior to meeting him that someone else dubbed his voice over in Flash Gordon.
Yep, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and so when I saw this guy, hey, how you doing there, buddy? What?
It kind of threw us off.
And he was actually charging an exorbitant rate for 2003 prices, if I recall. So
It was. I agree. But just generally how people like, Lou Ferrigno, like you said, Lou Ferrigno, Linda Blair, people that notoriously have bad attitudes. Nev Campbell was another one. How fans should handle it when, and I'll just hand this over to Mike. It's just.
I'll say one last thing on it. Like Patty has said a couple times, it's nothing personal. If they're nasty, guess what? They're probably nasty to all of their fans. It's very rare that the person is ever singled out. So that's just what you have to remember. It's, you know what? Enjoy the art, not the artist. You can do that. And that's, the more and more we learn about, comedians who may have been, putting pills in women's drinks, or lots of people, you find their dirty laundry out there. Guess what? If they made you laugh, just enjoy what they did for you, made you laugh, and you just don't have to, enjoy their future work. If it's
It is important because it has happened to me. It's happened to all of us.
Happened to all of us. Yeah.
One thing I will say though is sometimes you can just get a bad shuffle. There are some people with.
Sometimes they're just in a bad mood.
There are some people with a universally bad reputation, but there's sometimes you catch them at a bad moment, you know, they just got off the phone and told that, you know, oh, they're casting Andy Dick in that role that you were up for, or whatever, you know. And
Mood too.
yeah. And there's another thing to the psychology of it too. Sometimes they're sitting at their table and they're putting on a good front, but you know, they're maybe at one time they had the longest line and now they don't anymore. Now they're sitting next to some 22-year-old in some, you know, it's like CW, like bad horror series or whatever, with line out the door, and people are looking at him like, who are you, or whatever. There's push and pull.
Landis. It killed me. It broke my heart. I saw that with John Landis. There was no one at his table. Like, how the hell does that happen?
I saw it with Henry Winkler a couple of months ago.
What?
Nobody gave a crap about him. He was just like sitting there, and this was a man who for 3 to 4 years was one of the most popular actor on the planet. And
how is that possible?
Well, it was the day David Tennant was there, so yeah. So exactly. You know, it's like all, you know, like the line in Patton, all glory is fleeting. And I'm not saying that to mollycoddle the actors or whatever, but the point of the matter is just take it upon yourself. And you know, weirdly enough, if you feel like you caught him in a dick mood or whatever, if you're there for a couple of days, try it again. Try to go back up to him a couple of days. Like maybe, you know, just observe them from a distance. And if they're acting like a dick to everybody, well, acting like a dick to everybody, lesson learned. But maybe you could catch them on it or whatever. You know, I haven't done it myself, but I did have somebody that went up to him the next day and said, look, you know, yesterday you said this to me, and I just want to say you really hurt my feelings because I've really been a big fan of yours. And they got like, I'm sorry. No, I'm really sorry. I'm really, really, really sorry. I got some bad news, and you're right. So, because they're actors, and sometimes they forget this too. Anybody, the actors that come from a theatrical background where they've been on stage, they're usually much, much better with dealing with the people as it is. The TV movie actors that don't have a stage they can be uncomfortable with it. Comic book people and writers, sometimes they are completely non-social skilled whatsoever, and they can be. Comic book artists can be the worst. Comic book artists can really be the fucking worst, which is great because we won't see them at Spooky, thank God. So,
but okay, Mike, I mean, your thoughts on the matter?
It's like this. I mean, there's been a few popular names and faces that have been at Spooky and various conventions where people have said, "Oh, this he's a douche," or she's a bitch, but you'll hear another person talk about that same person that same day and say, no, they were perfectly fine with me.
That's happened to me.
But what you have to also remember is you may have been going after someone that has pissed that person off before you.
That's true too.
Okay, so it's not always the person, maybe the person in front of you that said something that, like you said, Billy D doesn't sign the Colt 45 stuff. So if you get someone that comes up to him and is like, hey, I got this thing of this picture of you in Colt 45, you know, that's probably going to set him off. He may not mean to take it out on you, but guess what? You know, he's only human. You know,
that's a good point, though.
You know, so you just gotta. I don't want to say take it, but you know, just it's.
Try again later, like Patty said. Try again later.
Yeah, it's one of those things where and like you said, Henry Winkler and David Tennant. Okay, most people that know David Tennant don't even know who Henry Winkler is, and they don't go back to the.
Brain, man.
You know. Yeah, they don't go back to Happy Days. Oh, okay, yes, Happy Days, Fonz, yes.
Yeah.
They don't get that. They don't get that I had the toy with him in the leather jacket, and so they don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's like with anything else. You know, if you get someone with a bad attitude, how would you act normally? Okay, you're here. You know, fine. You're gonna be a douche to me. You're gonna be a bitch to me. You know. I said hello. I don't have to see you again. Period. Just move on. Go find something you do like. And so don't make big deal out of it. The other thing is, what I've noticed also is people will bash a guest before they even get to the convention.
Oh, that happens a lot.
And then when that guest gets there, they already have a preconceived attitude about, oh, well, these people don't like me. No way. Why do I need to put up with this? You know,
Stephen Jeffries, I remember that.
I've seen that happen at Spooky. People, why is this person here? Man, they don't got nothing to do with this. They will literally,
And they'll say it to their face too. Yeah.
trash and bash a person like you wouldn't believe because they don't fit their genre. Get over yourself.
That's very true. But I hope you all have actually learned something from this, because this shit is important, man. It's like we want these celebrities to have a good time, and we want them to come back, and we want them to come out and hang out at the pool with us and have a good time, and that's up to y'all, you know.
And that's one of the biggest strengths of Spooky, is that this is a convention where, yeah, the celebrities at the end of the day will come on out and hang out. I don't mean just at the VIP party or whatever. I mean, they'll come out and they'll chill and they'll talk and they'll drink and they'll smoke and, you know, and just whatever. They'll hang out, and it's a really cool thing. And I think that is what's always been the magic of Spooky.
Absolutely. Okay, now with this, we are going to hand this over to Rob for a second, because we want to talk about our sponsor, Horror and Sons. Horror and Sons, fantastic website. There's some things that they've mentioned that they want us to talk about. They've been really cool in digging up autograph and photo op prices. So we were talking about budgeting so that you know just how much to save. And I gotta say, all the celebs, super, super reasonable. Horror and Sons is fantastic. Thank you so much for the info. But Rob said there was something he wanted to say.
Yeah, all right. Well, just, you know, let's go through the list. You know, again, Horror and Sons, we appreciate you guys digging up the pricing for us. They do a damn good job. They also have different reviews, features on movies, games, things. They did the latest movie reviews they did. One was for a horror movie called Killer Piñata, which is exactly what you think it is. And,
that's awesome.
I think it's called Phoebe, and it's a kind of a mid-90s made for public access Canadian television. It's
awesome.
It's words can't do it enough injustice. It needs to be seen. So, you know, check out Horror and Sons, and you can read the reviews there. So, anyway, they've given us some information about the latest round of guests that were announced over the past couple weeks. So again, these prices are not guaranteed. Remember that. This is just historically what these guests have charged at other cons. Could be cheaper, could be a little bit more. This is generally in the ballpark, and Horror and Sons has done a really good job in the past. They've always been pretty darn close if they haven't hit the nail on the head. So, you know, here's just a list of what you can expect. We'll start with who I think is the big gun for the show, Joan Cusack. You know, we love her. I can't wait to talk to her about My Blue Heaven, one of my, you know, favorite little movies that no one else gives a crap about anymore. Steve Martin, Rick Moranis. But anyway, Joan Cusack is probably going to be around $40 for an autographed picture.
Okay, hold on. Do you mind if I interrupt for a second? Just, you know, just talking about Horror and Sons. I'm sorry, because I completely forgot that I wanted to talk about, they're going to be announcing this year's Halloween submission series. That's going to be in August, but they do like this great, amazing Halloween series like during October. They're going to be announcing that in August. There's going to be a giveaway for the 3rd anniversary of the site. They've been around that long, which is fantastic. Pinata and Phoebe were fantastic. Some of the other stuff, like I said, they review like old vinyls, like, you know, some of the old school soundtracks and stuff. And they also, what was it? Like the board games, like these old spooky board games that like we had when we were kids. They review those too. Like all these great little, just, you know, great and not so great hidden gems. So, you know, before we get in, I just wanted to, you know, say it wasn't just like movies, but, you know, like these great underground old school NES horror games and stuff like that. So this is why, you know, you want to look up the site. They do giveaways all the time. They're doing that Halloween series. So that's something I wanted to bring up.
They did a review of the Neil Adams record and comic book of featuring Dracula, the werewolf, and Frankenstein's monster. So that makes them okay in my book.
Yeah, I read that. That was really fucking awesome.
I still have that one. I still have that.
Do you really?
Not the one that the version they review, but I have the comic one autographed by Neil Adams, but who back in the day when he used to not charge for autographs.
Wow, indeed. All right, so getting back, Joan Cusack.
Joan
Who,
Cusack.
by the way, was on it was a cast member of SNL. That not that anyone seems to remember that.
That's true.
That was the Anthony Michael Hall year? Was that the season? Like the John Lovitz was the only survivor of that season.
It might have been.
Okay, good time.
Yeah, it was 85, 86, yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Mhm.
Okay. So Joan, $40 for autographed pictures, and then $50 for her photo op. That's the ballpark. So
Which is like super amazing. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Joan.
We have two guys who are from the Monster Squad. You know, huge '80s cult, kid movie or kids killing all these horror icons.
Yeah, Andre Gower and Ryan Lambert.
Yeah, Ryan, fun fact, also on Kids Incorporated. Very important Saturday morning program. Those guys probably going to be around $30 for their autographs and pictures. We have two women who were in the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. Scout, I can't read my own handwriting.
Scout Taylor Compton.
Yes,
who was Laurie.
You want to give me the assist on Kristen as well?
Okay, Kristen Klebe, she played Linda, and they are charging 30
for all of those.
30 at the table. Yeah.
Okay. Then
for picture and autograph.
All right, then we have Owen McCann from the last Resident Evil movie. And his first name, just for the record, is E-O-I-N. He's a real Gaelic, authentic Irishman.
Oh, he's super Irish.
So, don't ask him to kiss the Blarney Stone. I think he'd find that offensive. He's at the $50 rate, it looks like. So
I think he's charging 40 and 50 for the photo op.
Okay, there's 40 and 50. Okay, there you go. And then
Owen Mackin.
What was that?
Owen Mackin is his name.
Oh, and that's Mackin, yes. Okay. And then,
and just let me interject quick. Hold on, let me just interject real quick. I have an apology to make because when we were giving the price for during the last podcast, I don't know why the hell I did it because I am a fan of his, but Tyler Maine, I kept calling him Taylor Maine for some reason throughout the whole and nobody corrected me. I'm saying Taylor Maine because I'm thinking Taylor Dane. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I'm saying, Taylor Maine the whole time. I meant Tyler Maine. I'm a big fan, so Tyler, if you're watching, I apologize. I'm an idiot. Taylor Dane, CD for me. I don't know. I'm an idiot. Anyway, apologies for mispronouncing it the entire time. I know better. I'm an idiot. Anyway, Rob, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then who else is on the list? Zach
Galligan. From Gremlins.
Gremlins and Gremlins 2. We all know him and love him. He's actually going to be very likely to be the bargain of the show. If you were a fan of Gremlins, his typical rate is $25 to $30. And sometimes he will charge an extra 10 for a photo. Sometimes it's also free. So if you were a fan of Gremlins and you're trying to make your con budget stretch just a little bit further, he may be the guy to hit the table of. So. I think we covered everyone else, I believe, who was announced last time. So I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, I think we we covered Malcolm McDowell. I think we covered Shannon Purser, who's going to be Barb. I'm excited about Barb. All right, so so out of all these guests, Mike, who is there anyone that you're looking forward to meeting?
Actually, Ernie Hudson. And,
I love Ernie. Ernie's guaranteed a story.
Yeah. See, I've wanted to meet him for a while. Him and Dee Snider. I got to meet Dee Snider before, so Dee's great. But want to meet Ernie.
Dee's panel is going to be off the hook. That's what I'm looking forward to. His panel. Holy shit!
Is it going to be just him, or is Ricky Rackman going to be in on that?
Ricky Rackman's.
That's a good question.
Because I think it would be better served if Rackman had his own panel and Dee had his own, and then maybe they could do one together later on.
I don't think anyone wants to ask Ricky anything. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Quick point though, just for the record, I don't know if you were a fan of the movie. Ernie actually was a big fan of Congo. He's been on record. Just a small podcast I listened to him on, and he said, "I like the movie. I like my performance in it." I don't know how many other people really ask him about Congo. So if you want to, do that special
4 points with Ernie. There you go.
His British colonial accent was much better than Tim Curry's Russian accent. I will absolutely, I will go on record and say that.
I won't disagree. Tim Curry kind of sounded like he was looking for a moose and squirrel throughout that movie.
These are the lost lines of zinj which I have looked for all of my life.
All right, so Rob, who are you looking forward to?
Barb is certainly something cool, and I didn't actually get a D. Snyder moment the last time he showed up, so he's someone on the list, and Gremlins scared the crap out of me, so I'm staying away from it.
You're going to be avoiding Zach, huh?
Yes. It's like I said, that movie really did bad things to me as a kid. I love Gremlins too, but this first movie, too scary.
Still to this day, too scary. Triggered.
Gremlins 2 is the definite exception where the sequel is much better than the first one. Not that I find the first one bad at all, but
yeah.
I adore Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
Gremlins 2 is it's the perfect over the top. Everything is so friggin' ridiculous in it. And in the Brain Gremlin, one of the great underrated characters in movies, period.
As you know, sunlight poses a problem for our ethnic group.
So, Patty, what about you? Is there anyone you're looking forward to?
You know what? I miss D. Snyder, and D. Snyder is dear to my heart because Twisted Sister Stay Hungry tour was the first concert I went to without a chaperone or parent.
Oh wow!
I went with my best friend, and I was like, yeah, that was Sunrise Musical Theater. Y&T was the first act, and
wow,
and followed by Dokken, and Tooth and Nail had just been released, and then Twisted. That was a hell of a first concert.
Oh yeah,
to
Jesus Christ.
And if it wasn't for Twisted Sister, and if they hadn't said, we're back in 6 months with a little band called Iron Maiden, and then if I wasn't for Twisted Sister, I wouldn't have gotten an Iron Maiden, and I wouldn't have seen the World Slavery Tour, and I wouldn't be the man that I am now. Wait, that's probably not a good endorsement. Let's just say they're right. But the thing about D. Snyder, besides being, what I admire most about D. Snyder is that his incredible work ethic. If you if it's still on Netflix, if you haven't seen the Twisted Sister documentary, holy shit. It is a masterclass in, if you want to succeed in entertainment and it's still relevant today as it is now, this is the level of actual discipline and dedication you have to go through, and there's still no guarantees, and when you hit a plateau, it's like you got to fight even further. So yeah, D. Snyder is a genuine hero of mine. I mean, he started out as an idol, and then it became a hero, and I'm really psyched for him. I love to talk to Malcolm McDowell. I love to talk to Malcolm McDowell just about two things. I love to talk to him about Royal Flash, an adaptation of the Harry Flashman series of novels, which she's actually a big fan of. So I would love
Malcolm story from you.
I would love to geek out about Flashman with him, and I'd also love to talk to him about his version of Fantasy Island, which I thought never got in '99. Barry Sonnenfeld was the producer, wrote some of the episodes. It was fucking brilliant. You still can't find it. It's never been officially released or anything. And it's amazing. You can find some like shitty, I think, if I 1 or 2 episodes on YouTube still, but his version of Mr. Rourke and how the island was, you got the idea that he wasn't there willingly and he was under some kind of curse, and people who came onto the island didn't necessarily leave for good reasons. One guy basically didn't want any responsibility, so he turned him into a baby. There. Now you have no responsibility at all. Goodbye.
That's dark as hell. I love it.
Yeah. It was a really, really good shit. I think it just came out the wrong time. If it had come out 10 years later, I think we'd still be watching it. I think it would have been a big.
You know,
it would have been a big
the fire under him. Maybe he'll start it. Maybe he'll go back into it now. Who knows?
Yeah. So, and I've heard
But this is a perfect example, finding the obscure projects that these celebrities are, are involved with.
And-
Well,
this is
that's
the
like
stuff
the
they want
movie-
to talk about.
That's like the movie he did Time After Time that they're making that new TV show out of. I'd like to know his take on what he feels about what I think is an iconic movie being turned into a new TV series with new popular actors. 'Cause
Exactly.
that's one
And
of
he's a
those-
spitfire too. If you watch any of these panels with Malcolm McDowell on YouTube, the guy's a spitfire. He's like
Yeah.
John Carpenter. He's like, he curses like crazy, and he's what they call cheeky.
Yeah.
Very
and Time After Time was the first movie where he got to be able to play an actual nice guy. I mean, up until that point, it was like, Alec and If, and even Flashman, who was a bastard, and Caligula, and Time After Time was the complete 180, young, dashing, polite, I'll have a Big Mac, fries, and a tea, please.
Oh, fantastic. All right. I think unless there's anything else, I mean, Mike, do we have any questions from anybody before we wrap this up?
No, I'm looking. Then the last questions had to do with the taking money at the tables, and then.
Oh, okay. Because we got like 7 people watching us right now. So,
Woo!
but yeah, so we've got, like I said, so we talked about, the ladies from Rob Zombie's Halloween, when they've been added to the list. The guys, Sean and Rudy from Monster Squad, have been added. We've also had Owen Mackin from Resident Evil, the latest Resident Evil, added. Zach Galligan, and Joan Cusack, who is going to be, I would personally recommend getting her early Friday. Or actually, no, wait, I think she's only going to be there Saturday and Sunday, I think.
Sunday only.
Saturday, Sunday. So get her as early as possible. Because, yeah, I'm looking forward to Joan, because I'm sure she started doing the circuit because her brother started, and I'm sure her brother gave her, it's like, oh, wow, it's actually really cool getting out, meeting the fans. And so now Joan's just like, oh, now she wants a piece of the pie. So good on her. I'm looking forward to meeting Joan. Just 16 candles,
She seems like she'd be fun to meet anyway. If she's anything like it, all the characters that she portrays are always someone that you would want to have fun with, like in Toys. Granted,
yeah.
she was a
Oh God,
robot
Toys.
android, but she was, you couldn't help but love the character she played, and to me, even in the roles that she's been in, even with the movies that she's been in with her brother, she's always this person that you're like, you like her because of who she is. So I'm really hoping that's how she is in
I think
person.
she's much less introverted than her brother. Her brother is incredibly introverted. Yeah. John's a very, very different person than her. So yeah, so she seems like she's going to be fun. All right. Well, if we've got no other questions, then there we go. I think we've covered everything. If there's any other questions you have, by all means, comment below. And again, we are not official spooky staff, but I think we pretty much have our finger on the pulse. Hey, what is that phrase in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? Here's your finger, here's the pulse, something like that. I don't remember. Rob, you remember, don't you?
I'm not going to get the line right, so I'm not even going to try to do it.
All right, fair enough. Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll be back again in a couple of weeks when they add some more events and we dig up some more dirt. And so there we go. And that's the perfect image to go out on right there. I took it down. There we go. Actually, does anyone know the significance of this shirt?
It's out of focus. Hold on.
It's a Spooky Empire shirt.
It's a Spooky Empire shirt from 2008. Does anyone know the significance of this shirt?
Was that the first year? No. Was that the first year it was Spooky Empire? They left Screamfest?
Yes,
Okay.
that was the first year. It was actually Spooky and not Screamfest, because from 2004 to 2007 it was called Screamfest, and then from 2008 on. So just fun little trivia there.
Nice.
Thank you everybody again, and thank you so much to my co-hosts. The Not Ready for Daytime Players, and
Thanks for having us.
good night, everybody.